Back in 2000, I was just 13 years old, and I used to sneak into my older brother's room whenever he wasn't around to play Perfect Dark. I vividly remember sitting there, staring at the title screen thinking, what the heck have I gotten myself into? I had no idea how Perfect Dark would change the way I look at first-person shooters. After seeing the new Perfect Dark trailer released at the Xbox Showcase, I decided to revisit Perfect Dark on the Nintendo 64. If you don't already know, Perfect Dark on the N64 is this epic sci-fi first-person shooter developed by Rare, released back in the year 2000. You step into the shoes of Joanna Dark, a secret agent working for the Carrington Institute, uncovering the sinister conspiracy involving the nefarious Datadyne Corporation. What really sets Perfect Dark apart for me is the story. I think at the time, first-person shooters didn't really have a narrative. However, I only remember playing Duke Nukem and GoldenEye. There's also Half-Life, but that's another video for a different day. What makes Perfect Dark so unforgettable are the characters you get to meet. Joanna Dark, or as her friends like to call her, Jo, is the ultimate secret agent. She's sharp, skilled, and never backs down from a fight. Also, she's known for her jokes and sarcasm.
Are they all expendable?
Don't joke.
Something I can do for you, old woman? Certainly. Any other pearls of wisdom?
The battle shrine is located at the most holy part of this holy planet.
So let me get this straight. It's holy.
I swear, if this version of Joanna isn't in the new Perfect Dark game coming out, then I don't want it. Daniel Carrington is the brains behind the Carrington Institute and is Joanna's boss and mentor. He's the quintessential eccentric genius, always a step ahead in the game of espionage. In my eyes, he looks like your friendly neighborhood professor. There's also Alvis, no, not that one, an alien with a penchant for helping out Joanna. With his big eyes and even bigger heart, Alvis is a surprising but invaluable friend in the battle against the bad guys. And look how adorable this little guy looks with his snorkeling mask and USA vest. Watch them go against the big three conspirators bent on taking power. First, there's Cassandra DeVries, the big bad CEO of Datadyne. Cassandra is as ruthless as they come, and she's got her hands in all sorts of dirty dealings and will stop at nothing to achieve her goals. And then there's Trent Easton, your classic shady government official. As the head of the NSA, he's got a hidden agenda that spells trouble for Joanna and her crew. With his smooth talk and sinister plan, Trent is always lurking in the shadows, ready to strike. Last but not least, there's Mr. Blonde, the mysterious and deadly enforcer for the Skedar. Mr. Blonde is not someone you want to cross. Just be sure not to break anything.
Because we believe anything which does not work correctly should be destroyed.
One of the first things I remember was Perfect Dark being one of those games that was both incredibly easy and hard at the same time. Playing on the Perfect Agent difficulty, taking down enemies wasn't tough, but surviving with enough health to complete a mission, that was a different story. I died so many times in the Pelagic 2 mission that Alvis saying, "You go on ahead, Joe, I'll secure the perimeter, we'll meet up later," finally made me lose it.
You go on ahead, Joe. You go on ahead, Joe. I'll secure the perimeter. Hey, you go on ahead, Joe. I'll secure the perimeter. We'll meet.
AI in this game is on another level. These guys can duck, take cover, and even team up against you. Even their death animations are more realistic than the puppets I see getting tossed around in recent games. It's like every enemy has a brain of their own, and it's out to get you. When AI does take over the world, just remember it tried taking you out in Perfect Dark first. Something that stands out for me were the plethora of weapons available, each with primary and secondary firing modes. One of my favorite enemy slayers was the laptop gun, which can turn into a sentry turret, and the Farsight XR-20, which lets you see and shoot through walls. What also made this game special is how stealth was incorporated into it. You can often sneak past enemies using silence weapons, tranquilizer darts, or punching them in the face. I think the best example of using stealth was the mission Chicago Stealth, where nothing's really changed in Chicago except for flying cars. There were these guys that would call for reinforcements if you didn't take them out quick enough. Unfortunately, I can never take them out fast enough. Of course, we can't talk about Perfect Dark without mentioning the different multiplayer modes. I remember playing in my friend's living room going head to head in intense shootouts across a variety of maps. However, when I got tired of losing to my friends, I was like, hey, let's play the cooperative missions, this is boring now. Another thing I want to note is the counter-operative mode where one player gets to be the bad guy. It was exciting in that you never knew if that innocent AI looking NPC was actually your sneaky friend out to sabotage your mission. If you know me, then music is one of the most important things I looked forward to in gaming. Memorable themes for me were tracks like Chicago Stealth, Carrington Villa, and Pelagic 2 Espionage. However, my personal favorite is the end credits theme song. Not only did it just hit hard, but it made me feel like I really accomplished something at the end of my playthrough. What made the game truly memorable memorable for me were the iconic moments the game delivered. My first clue about Mr. Blonde being an alien came when I saw more than one of them on Air Force One. Unless he had a twin I didn't know about. The game also had so many amazing missions to play, but one that stood out for me was definitely the Carrington Institute defense mission. The Skedar and the remaining Datadyne forces launch a full-scale attack on the Carrington Institute headquarters, catching everyone off guard and interrupting their plans to meet with the White House and the Mayans delegation. To survive, you basically had to speedrun the mission, or you get overwhelmed by enemies. I can't even count how many times I played that mission. Not because it was super fun, but because I kept dying over and over again. Maybe I actually hated that mission now that I think about it. And who could forget the final boss fight with the Skedar King? I remember endlessly shooting at him thinking, why the heck is he not dying? Until I realized you had to destroy the shrine above him to take him down. After that it was pretty easy. As we await the new installment, which looks amazing by the way, it's astonishing to see how a game from 2000 still holds a special place in our hearts and continues to influence the gaming landscape today. If you want to remember more simpler times, check out my Beyond Good and Evil video right here. I'll see you in that video.